Hi, Marissa here from BT BOCES. In this video, we are going to do a quick overview of two specific apps on the Promethean Active Panel. We are going to be looking closely at the Spinner app and the Timer app.
All right, now we're going to get into some of the additional tools inside the locker. So we'll pull up our menu again. I'm going to click Locker. So again, remember all of these tools are accessible no matter what you are on. In the tools there are multiple things, and the two that I would like to highlight are the Spinner and the Timer. So the Spinner is really nice because it pulls up an actual spinner on the screen. I can drag it around. When I click, it makes it spin. It defaults to certain ones, but, so right now this category is colors, and it has, you can create new, you can do names, and so in here, these are just template names, but what I always liked using it as in my classroom, I would pull this up, and at the start of the year, I would take just a moment once I would have my class list, and I would add in my students' names. And so you can edit this by going to the pencil. So here I have names, and I have the pencil, and it will pull up the menu, and I can change the color, but I can add items and update those names by clicking and then typing in. It does take a couple minutes, but it does, once you do it once, it saves, so then it saves you some time. If you have multiple sections, you could have multiple timers on here of those different sections, or you can think about just using numbers, like a number system, so that you don't have to have multiple timers and spending that time with your hundreds of students that you may have. So I can have this over anything that I have up. So if I am doing a lesson, I can have my lesson up there with my information and my content that I'm teaching my students. I can have this, and at any time I can just spin the spinner. You actually have to like drag your finger down like a real spinner. And then Lauren would have to either share, or it'd be her turn to do something. So that is really nice. You can add in multiple spinners, so if you want to have different ones at the same time, you can have multiple spinners at once, and I could change the spinner. So if I wanted Lauren to now tell me the sound of this consonant, you can do that. So you can have multiple things up on the screen, which is really nice. And then when you're done using it, you just simply click the X. The next tool in that app locker is the timer. So on here, it's very similar setup to that spinner where you can have things already added in. You can set it to different amounts of time. You can, by clicking the up and down arrows, you can change the amount of time, and you can actually change if you want it to be a clock, a timer, or a stopwatch if you're doing a running time for something. So the clock is nice as well. Just even quickly, if you were going to pull it up to teach some time, some clock time reading skills with your class. You can add in additional ones, and each one could look different. And then in that settings, you can change it to digital or an analog. This is really nice for those visual timers that I know as a former special ed teacher, I always really liked these visual timers for students to see how much time they had left on something. So that option is really nice. You can play, then you can reset at any time. You can even make it full screen by clicking, I just simply clicked these two arrows, so then it makes it full screen, or minimizing it by clicking it again. And then when I'm done, I can just simply exit out. But so those tools can live either when you're on that main home screen of your active panel, or as I'm displaying right now, the desktop computer, those tools also can be displayed as an overlay as well.
If you are in need of support with your Promethean Active Panel, please contact ServiceNow.